Hey guys, Brennan here. Welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Goodbye Despair. Last time we found Byakuya's body and investigated to try to figure out what killed him, and now we're gonna get into the trial. So yeah, let's do this, shall we?
Are you kidding me?
Hey, what the heck is that mountain? When did that get there? Never mind that. How did they even make a mountain shaped like Monokuma?
No way.
That story might be true after all. There might be an enormous organization involved in all this. You mean what Byakuya said before, right?
You are right.
Byakuya. We still needed his knowledge. I still can't believe he's dead. Byakuya. What happened to Gundam and Fihiko? Now that you mention it, it appears they aren't here yet.
I got it!
Ah, I know. They probably ran away.
No way!
Aw, hell nah. There's no way I'd let them escape, you know. Look, I dragged this one back over here.
Don't fuck with me!
I'm telling you, let me go.
Hey!
Hey now, if you keep acting violent, I might just eat you up.
Hey!
Hey, Fuyuhiko, what were you doing all this time?
Huh?
Nothing. I wasn't really doing anything. I was just chilling in my room when I suddenly heard that fat bastard got killed. Who the fuck cares about that anyway? You, how can you say something so irresponsible?
Do you understand?
We've been doing our best to investigate this murder, even though we don't want to, just to survive.
Wait!
Mahiru, that's enough. You too, Fihiko. Dumbass. And I guess we're waiting for Gundam.
What happened?
I am right here.
Now then,
Remember this well. A main character arrives when he intends to. Huh?
Hey,
Seems you noticed it too. He's got the earring back. If I did, then I'm right.
Well now.
Alright, now that everyone's all together, let's take the secret entrance to the trial field.
Wait!
Please wait a second.
What's this?
My Bonami! Just what are you doing here? Nobody asked for you.
What?
Do you actually want to join in?
You masochistic
Do you want to taste how powerless you are at the class trial? You're an even bigger masochist than I thought!
Special bleeding
Oh well.
service.
I'm a big brother who dotes on his little sister. I shall allow your special participation.
See ya
I'll go on ahead and wait for you guys, so hurry over.
Huh?
He told us to come, but how do we get there? I don't see any doors or vehicles.
What's going on?
Mentioned something about a secret entrance, was it? Secret entrance? What the? Something's shaking. This is dangerous. Everyone, please get down. Something came out.
No way.
Could it be? Is he telling us to enter it?
what?
Such a suspicious aura. Even Crimson Steel Elephant Magazine is trembling with fear.
What? That's so totally suspicious.
Hey!
Forgive me! Seriously, just forgive me already! Hey, why don't we just stop here? I mean, none of this is real anyway. Like, not even remotely.
No way!
There's no way! There's just no way we'll find the killer!
Stupid.
Complaining won't get us anywhere. If you're really a man, then man up for God's sake. We've come this far. We have no choice but to keep moving forward.
You're right. There's nowhere for us to run. We need to do it.
That's everyone's decision. I'll just follow you guys.
Yep.
If this were a video game, it'd have a very high difficulty level. Let's do our best to clear the game.
Shaking with fear and nervousness, I hesitantly lift my feet and stepped onto the escalator. I won't think anymore. If I think, I'll run away. All I could do was stare upward intensely as the escalator carried me. And when each of us entered Monokuma Rock, this is an elevator. I see. This entire rock is an elevator.
Once again, Monokuma's doing whatever he pleases. However, if he's gone this far and made something like this, I don't think he's playing around. Even so, we're going pretty deep.
You're right. I heard an unnerving chattering sound inside my head. I soon realized it was the sound of my teeth. All I could do was purse my lips tightly so everyone else couldn't hear it. There we were, listening to unpleasant roars as the elevator plunged deeper and deeper into the earth. Some time passed before the elevator finally finished descending. And then the elevator door slowly opened.
Welcome.
Okay, welcome! This is the class trial field! How do you like it? It's a special place that will decide your fates!
Why, you...
What the hell is he thinking? Locking us in a shitty-looking place like this?
Don't fuck with me!
Are you fucking crazy? I kind of went... man, I don't have his voice down right now. Like, at all. That's fine. Are you fucking crazy? Don't mess with me, asshole.
Complain all you like, I'm used to it by now. Come on, you're wasting your time and energy. Hurry up and take your seats where your names are written.
Looks like everyone knows. Even if we try to resist, it won't change a thing. Just as Monokuma ordered, we walked toward the seats we had been assigned. From this point on, we need to find out who killed Byakuya. The ultimate affluent progeny, Byakuya Tagami. He was overly critical, arrogant, and condescending. But he also had a strong sense of responsibility. As we were panicking, he accepted his role as leader and tried his best to keep us together. A guy like him got murdered. The person who did it is one of us? I can't believe it. There's no way I can believe it. But if it's really true, we need to find out by any means possible, because that's our only option. There is no way for us to survive unless we sacrifice the killer. And so, this life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, has begun. Okay, so we're gonna save. The other file there is the file that I started with my sister, because we had played the first game and started the second game after we beat the first game. And it's fine because I've already played through the game, so it's not like you guys are seeing my first reactions to this game. If that were the case, I would very much try to keep this ahead, but it's not that big of a deal if the other one goes ahead because, like I just said, I've seen the entire game. Increases your aiming speed, effective during the non-stop debate, and the improved, reduces, increases. I'll pick up shift for now. There we go. I was wondering if there was a way to mix my skills to fill out the points, and there was. So there we go. Quick aim.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Yep, we know.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person,
we all die.
punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Such a cruel rule.
Before we begin, I'd like to confirm one thing. Is there really a killer among us?
Sus. Yes, there absolutely is. And he's super sus!
Most definitely! There's no doubt that the blackened is lurking among you!
I don't like that I find the Among Us sus jokes funny, because all it is literally just Among Us sus. There's no humor to it, yet I find it to be the funniest thing in the world. You don't like the Among Us jokes, subscribe and then unsub.
Such a sad state of affairs, isn't it? By the way, this class trial is gonna be 100% fair, so there's no need to worry. I'm the type who hates favoritism and prejudice. Well, not as much as I hate monogamy, of course.
Sounds fair.
You hate me that much?
Yeah.
Now, let's begin!
You're telling us to begin, but what are we supposed to do?
No complaining, let's just settle this with our fists.
Were you even listening to the rules? Didn't that Byakuya bastard get killed in the dining hall, huh? Then everyone there is a fucking suspect.
That tracks, kind of.
Yeah. What you're really trying to say is that you're not the killer, right?
Yes, that's what he is trying to say.
No shit. You guys went off on your own and started killing each other. This has nothing to do with me.
Huh? What does that mean?
It means I didn't fucking kill anyone, lady. That's so not his... I still do not have this voice down. There was a brief period of time where I thought it sounded okay, and it's back to sounding how it originally sounded. Very cool. I'm trying to do like a New York kind of accent, but it's just not good. And the funny thing is I live in New York State. I should be able to do a New York accent because I live in New York State. But I guess I don't live close enough to the city that I can actually do one. Because I live in like the upstate area of New York. I mean, personally, I would call where I live the capital region, but you know, people from downstate, like to say that this is upstate, even though I would say it's more of like the middle of the state, but whatever.
Anyway, why don't we try talking about the most pressing issue on our minds?
The most pressing issue on our minds?
Where we found the body. It's very strange to find a body underneath the table.
Then, let's start with that mystery.
The reason why Byakuya's body was discovered under the dining hall table. We can start with that, but ultimately we need to find out who murdered him. If we can't do that... No, thinking about if is a waste of time. We have to do this, no matter what. So, the class trial is finally started. From this point on, I will provide simple tutorials at every important moment. I'm sorry, but please excuse my ear-tainting rudeness. As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, all of your classmates will speak, one after the other, without any breaks. It's up to you to reveal any lies or mistakes contained within their statements. This means you will have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Out of all the truth bullets you find during your investigation, only the relevant ones will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the mouse to move the reticle, then fire with the left mouse button. Pay close attention to each character's statements and choose your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the escape key during the arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Knife gaps and floorboard blood.
Why was Byakuya's body in a place like that?
His body was underneath the table at the very back of the dining hall.
After the killer murdered Byakuya.
Let me just check this. It's been a while since I did this. A pool of blood formed around the body underneath the table. A lot of blood was splattered against the inside of the tablecloth. Also, there was no sign that the body was dragged.
They probably moved the body there.
They did not move it.
No, I don't think the killer moved the body.
Huh? Why?
No sign of being dragged.
Try to remember what the body looked like when we found it under the table. Though there was a lot of blood everywhere, there was no sign the killer actually dragged the body through it.
So that's why you think it's impossible that the killer moved the body. I see. I get your point.
And here I thought I had a genius idea.
You don't really ever have genius ideas, Kazuichi, but that's okay. That's not your character.
Too bad you're so stupid and boring and unpopular. Your life is meaningless.
I respond better to praise, you know.
But if the killer didn't move the body, why was it under the table?
Byakuya was probably killed under the table.
What?
What? You think he was killed under the table?
No, I know he was killed under the table.
So Byakuya snuck under the table for reasons unknown, and that's when he was killed. Then, shortly thereafter, we found his body under the table.
That does make sense, but why did he go under the table?
There's a knife there.
Obviously, he was hiding so he could surprise us. That dude was always a big jokester.
Yes. Agreed.
The hell he was? You seriously couldn't tell what kind of person he was?
Maybe he panicked during the blackout and dove under the table.
It's a blackout, not an earthquake. Just because the power went out doesn't mean you dive under the table.
The reason why is probably connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. The reason Byakuya dove under the table If it's connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, then it's probably... the knife.
I can prove it with this. It probably has something to do with the knife we found under the table.
Knife? Oh, you mean that thing that obviously screams, "I am the murder weapon!"
Byakuya probably noticed the knife was hidden there. So in order to get it, he moved under the table.
He was particularly sensitive to the presence of dangerous items, so I cannot deny that possibility. But how did he notice that there was a knife under the table?
If he knew beforehand, he probably would have done something about it before the blackout, right?
Then, instead of knowing about it beforehand, maybe he saw it right at that moment.
That would make sense.
Like, for example, he might have seen someone trying to take the knife out from under the table.
No, that's not possible.
What? You seem rather confident about that.
It was a blackout. He couldn't see because it was dark, is what she's gonna say.
Of course. I have proof to back me up.
This is almost like a real trial!
Emphasis on almost. During the previous statement, there was only one weak spot. But from this point on, there will be various weak spots standing in your way. No matter how many weak spots there will be only one lie or contradiction in the debate at a time. This means there will be false weak spots. If you shoot a false weak spot with a truth bullet, not only will you fail to refute what was said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone and your influence gauge will take damage. If your influence gauge reaches 0, you will fail, so please be extra careful. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or mistakes. Also, if you concentrate by holding down the space key, you can progress the argument slowly. Please use it whenever you feel like the statements are moving too fast for you to aim. However, this does consume the focus gauge, so please be careful. If you press the escape key during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Make our argument. Night vision goggles. Seems like it's probably related here.
I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table during the blackout.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds correct.
It does.
If that's the case, during the blackout, Mr. Hamhands must have seen the killer take the knife.
Mm-hmm.
But it was super pitch black.
Yes.
It was so dark I couldn't see my food. Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either.
He could.
No, that's wrong! No, Byakuya was probably the only one who was able to see in the dark.
Why do you say that?
He was using those night vision goggles we found under the table. He could have seen what was happening.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Your reasoning is out of focus.
Oh. I'm across blades.
No, that's obviously wrong. It should be the other way around.
No. You're wrong.
Seriously? The killer used those night vision goggles, not Byakuya.
Were you surprised by Mahiru's sudden argument? No, because I played the game before. Just between you and me, I was also surprised. No, well, I wasn't, so then you were the only one who was. Don't add also. Just kidding, I'm sorry. Now then, when this kind of argument surfaces, you will go into a one-on-one debate called Rebuttal Showdown. In this mode, you have to counter the other person's claim, draw out their weak spots, and argue against them. Please counter the other person's remarks with the WASD keys. Based on the shape of their remarks, it's important to know whether to cut vertically, sideways, or diagonally. And based on that, you can skew the debate's mood to your advantage. On the other hand, if you ignore the other person's remarks, it will skew toward their advantage. In the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, a number that shows the sharpness of your counter is displayed. This is the number of times you can cut remarks during one round of the debate. You will lose counts of sharpness even if you miss, so please be very careful. When the mood skews to your advantage for a certain length of time, the other party's argument changes. This means the conversation will develop. If that happens, they will end up divulging some weak spots. However, you cannot normally cut remarks that contain weak spots. Instead, it will skew the mood toward the other party's advantage. Plus, it's going to be very big. Just like a regular debate, please refute any weak spots with the left mouse button. Of course, if you don't have the correct truth blade, you will not be able to cut through an opponent's remark. Huh? What's a truth blade? I'm terribly sorry. It appears there has been a delay in contacting you. I will make sure that the person in charge of contacting you takes a very long vacation. In this mode, truth bullets will be called truth blades. That's about it. There won't be any other changes to your handbook menu. Only the name was changed, but don't you think a change in feeling is important? If you press the escape key during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay.
If you just use the killer obviously used those night vision. That's gotta be it.
Where's your proof that the killer used them?
Because if they used night vision, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. In reality, so those goggles were planned if the killer brought them to the crime scene.
Found a hole in your argument. I'm sure Byakuya brought the night vision goggles. I need to refute Mahiru's claim with evidence.
Because if they used night vision... then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. In reality, that's what happened. So those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Allow me to cut through those words. No, Byakuya was definitely the one who brought those night vision goggles.
Definitely? But why?
Because they were in the case.
Inside the Duralumin case Byakuya had with him during the party, we found a smaller case for storing the night vision goggles.
Which means we can assume that the night vision goggles were kept inside that Duralumin case as well.
Yup.
Woohoo! I said assume! Ibuki never uses such clever language.
Plus, Byakuya was the only one who could have taken the night vision goggles out of the case, since he was carrying it around before the blackout in the first place.
I see. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
Then, was that knife inside the case too?
No.
If there were night vision goggles inside, it wouldn't be weird for a knife to be in there too.
It would be weird.
I am weird, aren't I? At times like this, I'd rather be fantasizing about tonight's main dish.
Okay, yeah, you are weird.
Ooh, you totally mean that in a perverted way.
The knife was brought in the Duralumin case along with the night vision goggles, too. No, that's not possible. The knife was hidden in the dining hall before the party even started. I should be able to prove it. The duct tape!
See! There was duct tape left under the table where the body was found. Huh? Duct tape? They probably hid the knife by duct taping it to the underside of the table.
Oh, so that's why we found duct tape there.
Though Byakuya was thorough, even he couldn't have noticed a weapon taped to the underside of the table.
Unless he checked all the undersides of the tables before the party started, like someone looking for hidden weapons should.
This may be off topic, but why was Byakuya acting so paranoid?
Oh.
Not only did he bring a self-defense kit, but he had night vision goggles inside the case too.
Well, we found that letter in his room, so that's probably why.
That's true. He went above and beyond being a little cautious.
Now that you mention it, that applies to the dangerous items he confiscated as well. It's one thing to be a little cautious, but performing a body check is a bit much.
Is it?
He probably knew. Someone was planning to commit a murder.
Are you saying he predicted the murder? Could it be? Was he also in possession of the all-seeing eye?
Yes, he was.
You think so too, right, Hajime?
Yeah. That's right. Byakuya probably knew there was a possibility that a murder would occur. Because of the note we found in his room. Murder threat. Yeah.
I can prove it with this. Everyone, can you please take a look at this?
Be careful. The first kill will happen tonight. Someone will definitely kill someone.
Hey, the hell is this?
Hajime and I found this in Byakuya's cottage.
It looks like a threatening letter someone sent to him.
So, who's the someone? Nobody besides Monokuma would write such a dumb, threatening letter like that.
Wasn't me!
Are you sure?
The only lies I tell are friendly lies!
Yeah, sure.
Those are still lies!
Doesn't matter who wrote it yet. So, Byakuya became paranoid because of this threatening letter?
They probably decided to throw a party because of the letter.
What do you mean?
By gathering everyone in one place, he tried to create a situation where everyone could keep tabs on each other.
Mm-hmm.
In doing so, he tried to put the writer of the letter in a situation where they couldn't act.
But the letter might have been just a little prank.
As long as he was determined not to let any of us die, he couldn't take that risk. His strong sense of responsibility made him believe the letter was legitimate.
Yeah.
He should have told us he received a threatening letter.
If we had, we would have panicked. Byakuya probably knew that too.
So, he tried to do something about it without telling anyone?
Yep.
I see. Strong sense of responsibility as our leader was his undoing.
Screw that noise! Who the hell wrote that letter?
Well, obviously, the killer.
The killer. Is it really one of us? Who is it? Among Us. Sus. Who's the one who killed Byakuya?
Enough already! Show yourself, you coward!
If they were willing to come forward, they never would have committed a murder in the first place.
But I still can't believe it. Someone in this room killed Byakuya. There's no way I can believe that yet.
Pardon me. Can I say something, please?
What is it, Miss Sonia?
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles. If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
You're right. They wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night vision goggles. But if the murderer had the goggles when they took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
Even if the knife bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in that darkness.
No, the killer definitely used a mark. Because of this mark, the killer was able to get the knife from under the table into his hands.
I see! What if the glowing paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark. In actuality, the knife we found under the table and the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint, right?
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance?
But painting them with glowing paint? It's as if they knew the blackout was going to happen.
Because they set it up to happen.
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark. Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
That seals it. The killer is whoever was in the office with the circuit breaker. Which means it was you, Peko Pekoyama!
Peko killed poor Byakuya? Was this island not big enough for 2 glasses wearers?
Not the killer. Oh, I guess she's not.
Yeah, nope, she's not.
How can you believe her so easily?
I mean, she said she wasn't, so she's not, right?
But With Pekko's height, I don't think she'd be able to reach the circuit breaker in the office.
I don't care about a technicality like that. Pekko's the one who tripped the breaker and caused the blackout.
By tripping the breaker directly from the office, Pekko was the one who caused the blackout. Is that really what happened? After this debate, blue-colored weak spots will start appearing. If we call the weak spots that you've seen up until now argue spots, the blue-colored weak spots will be called agree spots. When shooting agree spots with truth bullets, you need to flip your way of thinking. Instead of arguing that the other person's testimony contains lies or mistakes, please fire the truth bullets that prove the other person's testimony is correct. When your truth bullets merge with their weakness, it will become a logically sound agreement. Isn't it a little hot in here? From now on, you must infer whether it's best to argue or agree based on what's being debated. If you press the escape key during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay. I don't remember what any of these accounts are, so...
Since Pekko...
Got Terra's account, Ibuki's account, and... Ibuki's account was like the things everyone was saying here. Terra's... The gas stove in the kitchen is powered by electricity. Terra couldn't use it during the blackout. Okay. Kazuichi's. Oh, prove him wrong using his own freaking words.
She could have caused the blackout at any time.
I don't have Kazuichi's. Chiaki's is... Ihiko came. What's Nekomaru's? Nekomaru's is that there's someone in the bathroom, right? Okay. That's probably what I have to use.
That's impossible. Huh? Why is it impossible?
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
I agree.
Agreed.
With that.
No, I think Pekko is telling the truth.
Don't tell me you're crushing on Pekko.
It's nothing like that at all. Nekomaru's account is actually Pekko's alibi.
I've been trying to use it many times, but the door just won't open at all.
It's true. Someone was occupying the bathroom for a long time shortly after the party started. And it was finally freed up after Byakuya's body was discovered.
Then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Everyone else besides Pekko was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
I see. So there's no way anybody else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Pekko.
I guess that would be... true.
You locked yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier.
Kind of embarrassing to talk about.
There's no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you're so insensitive.
If she locked herself in the bathroom for that long, there's no doubt. It's shit. Oh, there's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit.
Hey, weren't you guys taught any basic manners, or were you raised in a locker room?
I wouldn't be surprised if Nekomaru Nidai was raised in a locker room, to be honest.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. How about we stop talking about this and move on to something else?
Don't worry. The smell wasn't that strong. I used
Oh my god.
right after you, so you
No,
can trust me.
nope. Just drop it, man.
I said it's fine.
But still, you were in the bathroom for a really long time. Did you get food poisoning or something?
As soon as I stepped into the office, I felt this sudden rush of pain in my stomach. Because of that, I was unable to leave the bathroom. including when the blackout occurred.
Hey, how did it feel to do your business in the dark? Did you get excited?
Stop, Terror, please. Contain yourself for 5 minutes, please.
Seriously, stop it. But still, your stomach pain. Was that really just a coincidence?
Hey, what's the deal? Don't butt into other people's business, especially if you didn't do any investigating.
I'm only butting in because you fucking idiots are out of your element.
Stop this childish nonsense. Just what do you mean by coincidence?
What I mean is it possible someone slipped her some laxatives?
Laxatives?
If so, the killer could have tripped the breaker as soon as that girl left the office, don't you think?
I see. That might have happened.
The question is whether Pekko's stomachache was a coincidence or if someone intentionally caused it. Depending on the answer, the outcome of this trial could change drastically. It's probably the party dishes.
Did you eat anything weird?
Terry poured his heart and soul into cooking, however, Akane and Pekka were the only ones who ate them. So basically, it's just like, hey, Akane, did you feel anything weird?
I don't remember eating anything weird.
Now that you mention it... You brought food to the office, right?
Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
Taro cooked the food. How suspicious!
I wouldn't do anything like that.
I just wanted to see if there's a better
Laxatives would ruin the
statement.
taste. Did you eat anything weird?
I don't remember eating.
Now that you brought food to the office...
Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
No.
No, that's wrong.
I just wanted to double check, see if there's a second statement that might have more clearly stated the point.
It's impossible that laxatives were slipped into the food in the dining hall. Because Pekka wasn't the only one who ate that food. Akane ate some of it too.
If the food had laxatives in it, I'm pretty sure Akane would have had stomach issues as well.
I feel totally fine.
Like I said, the dishes are innocent. Don't go making weird accusations.
I apologize for causing a scene.
Fuyuhiko should apologize, not you. He's the one who made the laxative accusation.
What the fuck did you say, bitch?
Cease this bickering.
Let's just dismiss Pekko's stomachache as a coincidence and go back to discussing the blackout.
Yeah. We already know that, you trashy skank. You don't have to tell us.
Trashy skank?
As long as the murder happened during the blackout, then the blackout itself is what's actually important. So we need to make it clear how that blackout occurred.
Who tripped the breaker and how did they do it? If you can't answer that, I'm gonna bop you on the head. Did they throw a stone and hit it?
Yup, definitely.
Maybe they used a remote control?
They probably messed with the breaker.
It does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitters. Or maybe they caused a power surge?
I agree with that.
It's just as Mahiru said. The blackout was caused by a power surge.
Irons. 3 irons plugged in the storage room, and then the 2 AC units came on that blew the breaker.
Of course, that's not a coincidence. Someone caused it intentionally.
Which is why those 3 irons were arranged to cause the blackout.
When you found them right after the blackout, the irons were still on, right?
So by leaving those irons on in the storage room, they deliberately caused a power surge.
Yeah. It seems that's how the killer caused the blackout.
Stupid fool!
He's gonna say the irons probably weren't enough to
Hold on a
knock
second.
it out by
Let me
itself.
speak too. You say the irons in the storage room were used to trigger the blackout? That's inexcusable!
Okay. AC timer.
If the irons in the storage room caused the blackout, then for the killer to turn the irons on, you're saying they went all the way to the storage room? And that means everyone who was in the when the blackout occurred can't be a suspect.
No, just because people were in the dining hall doesn't mean they're not a suspect.
But the people in the dining hall weren't able to. If the irons caused the blackout, then the killer had to go to the storage room and turn on the iron. Now do you intend to take back what you said?
It's true the irons were responsible for the blackout, but that shouldn't be the only reason.
People in the dining hall weren't able to. If the irons caused the blackout.
Allow me to cut through those words. The irons are just one reason the blackout occurred, but they weren't the direct trigger. The direct trigger was when the air conditioners in the dining hall and office clicked on.
Air conditioners!
Yep.
The timers for both air conditioners were set to 11:30 p.m.
11:30 p.m. Mr. Ham died around that time too.
I see. When the timers activated the air conditioners, the breaker was tripped and caused a blackout. I see. I understand. Indubitably.
Indubitably?
They probably checked the old building's energy usage in advance and used the irons to nearly max it out. So once they set the air conditioner's timers, they just had to wait until they started up on their own.
I was like, surely irons and the, what's it called? The AC wouldn't be enough to overload your breaker, but then think about the fact that there were all the rooms in the in that old building as well, and all the lights were on. So, yeah, that might be enough to actually kick it.
If so, even if Pekka was in the office, it still would have been possible to cause a blackout. Indubitably.
Indubitably? Miss Sonia, not you too.
Regarding the energy usage, we probably asked Monokuma about it.
Dun dun dun!
Is she right? Such a hateful bear! You deserve to die 1,000 deaths!
Kind of mean for you to say, Monami.
1,000, you say? If I died that many times, I might really stay dead, you know?
Shut up! You guys just stay quiet!
I couldn't have prevented the blackout even if I was in the office. But even so, I feel regret. If I was in the office, I could have reset the breaker in time, and maybe the murder wouldn't have occurred.
No, the breaker in the office was built into a high area of the wall that's impossible to reach. Resetting the breaker in that darkness would have been impossible, no matter what.
Sounds like you don't need to blame yourself.
Even so, the killer is so sly. I'm starting to worry we may never actually find him.
It's alright. You don't have to worry. Because they're just a petty killer, right? They can't defeat symbols of hope like you guys.
Huh?
There's no way everybody will lose now. This little incident will just be a stepping stone for you all. In the end, hope always wins. That's what I believe.
Nagito? What happened to you?
Hope, Hajime.
What do you mean?
Well, you have been saying this whole time that there's no way a killer could be among us.
Well, you know, he might have just realized there's, beyond a shadow of doubt, there has to be now.
Oh, is that so? Well, let's just put that minor detail aside for now and talk about the incident. For now, we found out how the blackout occurred. But the question is, who caused it, right? Anybody could have hid and set the timers for the air conditioners. Setting up the irons in the storage room could have been done before Byakuya set foot in the old building. What a shame. Any one of us is capable of that.
What are you implying?
He's just saying, after all this time, we still haven't made any progress. Huh? Even though we have been arguing for so long?
Nah, we made some progress.
Fortunately, it's the truth. Despite the fact that we've discussed this at length, there's not even one clue that leads to the killing.
We haven't brought up all the clues yet. Calm down. You're getting ahead of yourself there.
But that might be because there's no way any of us could be a killer.
You're changing your story again?
Anyway, I have an idea about what we all should do at this point. Has anyone thought about our situation like this? Instead of surviving by doubting others, isn't it better to get killed for believing in others?
Maybe.
Doesn't that mean... Are you saying we should all just give up and die?
Yup. Haha, funny.
Nagito, there's definitely something wrong with you.
There is. There's definitely something wrong with him.
You guys only think there's something wrong with me because there's something wrong with you.
Thanks. Really cool, Nagito.
Suspecting each other like this. There's no way that's healthy behavior.
Denying all of the truth and just for the sake of believing in others is much more unhealthy.
Let's stop this already. We don't have to find out who the killer is.
But we do, Nagito.
I can't stand this anymore. I don't want to do this to my friends.
I don't want to do this either.
Me too! Please, take me home already! I want to go home and eat candy! Stop it. If everyone acts like this, I'm gonna...
Everyone calm down.
We're all friends, aren't we? There's no way one friend would murder another.
Then why did Byakuya die?
Who cares? Let's just give up already. There are no clues that lead to the killer anyway. Not a single one.
That's wrong. I think.
Did you say something?
She did. She said you're wrong.
Because we've already found a clue that might point to who the killer is.
You know who the killer is?
The killer? I don't know. But we do have a clue about a suspicious person. I think.
I see. Then care to tell me, what's this clue you're talking about?
First of all, let's try thinking about how the killer was able to obtain the knife during the blackout.
Didn't we already cover that? They use glowing paint as a mark.
Yeah, that would help them if they were right next to the table. But how'd they get to the table?
No, not that. I mean before that.
Before? Is she asking how the killer got close to that table? Even if they had to obtain the knife by relying on the glow from the paint, in order to do that, they needed to get close to that table while it was still dark.
Let's try examining the situation. My hero's diagram might be useful here.
The diagram of where everyone was standing before the blackout, right? Here it is.
There's a certain someone standing suspiciously close to a power cord that leads to that table. Just as I thought, this diagram is the clue. Who the killer is and how they were able to move to the table in the dark. That's clearly shown in this diagram. First, we need to discuss how the killer was able to move to that table in the dark. The killer probably used something to help him move in the dark. It's the lamp. The lamp.
Here! Killer must have used the desk lamp to move to that table in the dark.
Desk lamp? I hope you don't mean they turned on a light or something.
There was a blackout. There's no way the killer could have used the desk lamp.
Of course, there's no way they used the desk lamp's light. The killer actually used the power cord.
I can prove it with this. They didn't turn the desk lamp on. They used its power cord.
Power cord?
They could have felt their way to that table using the power cord, right? By doing that, the killer was able to move to the table and use the glowing paint to find the knife.
If I tried to do something like that in real life, if the lamp wasn't, like, secured to the table somehow, I would knock the lamp on the floor and be crap out of luck. I would not be able to get near that table at all.
And there's only one person here who could have done that.
I mean, the thing is that even without the power cord, Nagito is standing close enough, he could probably just position himself toward the table before the blackout occurs by paying attention to what the hell time it is, and then walking toward the table, just blindly sticking his hands out in front of him to feel when he touches the table. The only person here who could have possibly done it is Nagito.
You're the only one! Nagito, it was you, wasn't it?
Me?
Judging from everyone's positions before the blackout, the only person near the power cord was you.
Which means the only one who could have felt their way to the table using the power cord was Nagito!
That's just a coincidence.
But still, you had a chance, right? A chance to hide the knife under the table?
Nagito's chance to hide the knife under the table was when he was cleaning.
I see! Nagito, weren't you cleaning the dining hall all morning? If so, you would have had a chance to hide the knife.
That's...
If you factor in the power cord and the time you spent cleaning, you're the only one who could have done it.
Seriously! That's all just a coincidence!
Yeah, okay.
If it was just one coincidence, it'd be fine. But when it's one right after another, I wonder, is something like that even possible?
Could it be? Did you give yourself cleaning duty on purpose so you could hide the knife under the table?
Now that you mention it, Nagito did prepare the drawing to pick who cleaned the dining hall.
To be honest, I already prepared a drawing because I assumed something like this would happen. To go to the trouble of preparing this, just what did you think would happen? Whoever draws the chopstick with the red mark on it will be in charge of cleaning, okay? Does that sound fair?
You rigged the drawing, didn't you? That's how you got picked to clean the dining hall, isn't it?
He didn't need to rig it.
I don't know if you're the killer or not, but regardless, it proves that you're suspicious, right?
If that's the case, that strange speech you made earlier, that was part of your plan too.
You got us to lower our guard and tried to hide the fact that you did it, didn't you, you motherfucker?
Well, just admit it already!
Nagito, tell me you object to this. Frankly, I don't want to believe it either. We investigated together. You were so kind. I can't believe you're the one who killed Byakuya. Nagito, say something!
The Ultimates are working together to combat the despair of their friend's death! How wonderful! How beautiful it is!
Huh?
Those eyes. At that moment, Nagito's eyes... The darkness in his eyes shone brightly, as if layers upon layers of darkness were folding into each other. As if hope and despair had been crudely mixed together.
Let's cut to the chase. You're correct. It was my doing all along. I'm the one who hid the knife under the table before the party started. I'm the one who used the power cord to find my way to the table in the dark. And of course, I'm the one who caused the blackout. After all, there's no way I'd knowingly whip out a knife in front of everyone, right?
Is it just me, or does he seem a little nuts right now?
No, he seems perfectly normal. For him.
But I never expected Byakuya to have night vision goggles. Because of that, we had ourselves a little scuffle under the table. And, well, you all saw how that played out. With a twist ending like this, I think we can all agree this ended up being a very interesting mystery. Byakuya performed admirably.
Just stop it already! Seriously! What the hell happened to you?
Don't tell me. Is this your true nature? Were you lying to us this entire time?
Lie? That's outrageous. There's no way someone like me could have lied to you guys. I understand better than anyone else that I'm ultimately worthless. Too arrogant to have dreams or cling to hope. Too disdainful to actually try at anything. I've made peace with the fact that I'm a lowly, stupid, insignificant human who can't do anything right.
Holy crap! He's totally the type of guy who spent his childhood killing neighborhood pets!
He seems like the sort of person whose eyes light up while watching Friday the 13th. Just like me.
That's quite the hobby you have there. But, like, now's not really the time to bring it up.
Horror movies are cool, Kazuichi. You wouldn't understand. This guy, is he the real Nagito?
Hey, Nagito. If you were behind all of this, then did you also send that threatening letter?
Yep, I sure did. There's nobody else on this island whose handwriting is that painful to look at, right?
I mean, to me, it just kind of looks like you meticulously drew out lines and stuff, and that's not your actual handwriting, but that's just me. Like, that looks more like a typeface than actual handwriting.
But why would you send a threatening letter in the first place?
I think somewhere deep in my heart, I was probably hoping to find someone who would stop my evil deeds. Well, I bet if that really was my reason, at least some of you would feel sorry for me.
Are you making fun of us?
By threatening Byakuya, Nagito was likely able to manipulate his actions.
Then, how about that old-looking building near the hotel? Well, if it's just cleaning, leave it to me. I'm actually pretty good at it.
In doing so, Nagito was able to manipulate everyone to the scene where the murder would occur. Am I wrong?
If only someone had actually bothered volunteering for the cleaning that wasn't Nagito.
That reminds me. Nagito was the one who suggested I guard the office.
Well, not only is the storage room packed with lots of stuff, it's hard to see in there and full of cobwebs. And I was so busy cleaning the dining hall that I didn't even have time to clean the storage room. If you stayed in there for a long time, I think it would be bad for your health. In that case, why don't you guard the case in the office?
Oh, I get it. If Peko was guarding the storage room, Nagito wouldn't have been able to use the irons.
Yeah.
The threatening letter, along with all your suggestions. It is all a trap to manipulate us.
Yep, that's true too. But you're wrong about one thing.
Huh? What?
I didn't need to rig the drawing for cleaning duty, you know?
He just relied on his talent.
If that's true, then Then how did you conveniently get picked for cleaning duty?
His talent is the ultimate lucky student. He relied on it.
I see. Well, there's no way I'd expect you to remember it. A worthless talent for a worthless human.
Nagito's talent? I believe his talent is ultimate lucky student.
I see! You're the ultimate lucky student. Then, did you?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I just trusted my luck. I trusted I'd be picked for cleaning duty.
You just relied on your luck?
It's not just luck. It's true my talent sucks. But I'm still the ultimate lucky student, you know?
Huh? I'm left with the red mark? For someone called the ultimate lucky student, you don't seem very lucky right now.
At the time, Hajime said I wasn't lucky. But it was actually the opposite. I was lucky. That's why I got picked for cleaning duty. Just like I wanted.
Enough. I don't care about that anymore. More importantly, why did you kill Byakuya? Answer me!
Byakuya was a very capable leader. For someone like him to get killed? Oh, the despair it brings. It's only fitting that you symbols of hope should use his death as a stepping stone to shine even brighter. That was my only motivation.
You're not making any sense!
Fine, let's start the damn vote already. I'm ready to fucking kill this site.
Please, Monokuma! Please, wait!
Huh? The fuck?
How should I put this?
There's an inconsistency with the body that doesn't match a knife wound.
What are you saying? He's already confessed, hasn't he?
I already know that, but there's just something a little strange. If it's only a little, then keep your mouth shut. Your ugly face is stressing me out. It makes me want to puke. I'm sorry.
For now, might I suggest we listen to what she has to say?
But we know who the killer is.
Simply listening is acceptable. However, I won't allow this to end with mere play. Now then, let us lift the curtain for our bloody spectacle.
From this point on, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they touch these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. Please time your truth bullets just right so they won't get interrupted by the white noise. By the way, if the difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In that case, all it means is this explanation didn't mean anything at all. It had no meaning whatsoever. Oh, please don't worry, I'm not going to fall into despair. Even though it's meaningless, allow me to say one more thing. In this debate, you won't be able to shoot down the white noise. That will be explained later. If you press the start button during these arguments, you can review the controls. They did the thing. They did the thing where they didn't change the input there. Good job. Well then, good luck and have fun.
I think it's strange that...
The killer is so obviously Nagito!
He has already confessed.
You know...
Just listen to her, jeez, man.
That bastard Nagito is the one who did it. He killed Byakuya with the knife he hid.
Wrong!
No, that's wrong.
That knife might not be the murder weapon. That's what you wanted to say, right, Nikon?
What the hell are you talking about? It's obvious the knife was the murder weapon.
based on the entry weight on Byakuya's body, the actual weapon should be roughly 5 millimeters in diameter.
5 millimeters in diameter? That's like way skinnier than a knife!
Yeah.
Hey, that better be true. If you screwed up, I'll sell your fucking ass to a whorehouse.
Not a whorehouse!
Jesus Christ.
Hey, why are you threatening her?
Because that's what I do, I threaten women! Because I'm insecure!
Is this what you're trying to say, Mikan? As long as we can't prove that the knife is the murder weapon, we can't assume that I'm the killer.
What are you saying? No one else can be the killer. It has to be you.
Hey, don't blame me. Mikan's the one who said it.
I'm sorry. Hey, Nagito. Are you still hiding something?
Hiding?
Like, during the blackout, did something happen between you and Byakuya that we don't know about?
Who knows?
After all this, what else do you intend to hide?
Jeez, the moment your back's against the wall, you get all silent. You piss me off.
What happened during the blackout? Oh, if you cross your eyes like this, it gives you double vision.
Ibuki, you should be the one person who knows what happened during the blackout, considering you're the one who gave me the evidence that I have that says what happened during the blackout.
Don't get distracted. Our lives are at stake, you know?
Huh? Whose life is at stake?
All of us.
Seriously, how long is it gonna take for you to understand the damn rules?
Nobody can see in the dark, no matter how hard you think about it. The truth is beyond your sight.
Everyone can hear in the dark, though.
Don't you think that's a pretty clever metaphor?
Except for people who
Despite
can't
the fact
hear.
that it came from me.
Just kind of realized the contradiction to what I just said as I said it. I was like, but everyone can hear in the dark because no one in this cast is deaf. But people who are deaf cannot hear, so they cannot hear in the dark. Gotta consider things when you're speaking.
No, that's not it.
Not it. What's not it?
The truth is beyond our sight. No, that can't be it. There should be some way to find out what happened in the dark. Ibuki's account. Check this
I
out.
can prove it with this. Even if we couldn't see what happened in the dark, I'm pretty sure someone could have heard it. Isn't that right, Ibuki?
Oh, real?
Yes. Don't act so surprised.
You were the one who told me, remember? While everyone was shouting during the blackout?
Everyone, calm down. We gotta stay calm in a situation like this.
Ah! Don't step on my feet!
What the hell? What's going on here? This is...
Ow!
Turn the damn lights on! I can't eat like this, you know!
You guys? Where are you? Wasn't the blackout just in the kitchen?
Perhaps the breaker overloaded?
Hold on a sec. I'll go along the wall and do something about it.
Such perceptive hearing. Impressive. I'd expect no less from the ultimate musician.
It's a good thing your ears are awesome because your face, style, figure, and personality totally suck.
You've cut me deep with your knife of truth! However, after hearing what Byakuya and Nagito said in the dark...
What the hell? What's going on here? This is...
Ow!
It almost sounds like Byakuya fought back against Nagito or something.
Okay, now can we hear those 3 voice lines 4 more times just to really rein it in that Nagito said the word ow.
Well, that's actually what happened.
Huh?
As a sign of respect for Ibuki's talent, I have a small confession to make. I was actually shoved out from under the table by Byakuya.
He shoved you out?
Just as the blackout occurred, I hurried to duck under the table and grab the knife. But Byakuya, wearing his night vision goggles, caught me and shoved me right out from under the table. That's right. I'm so incompetent that I couldn't even grab the knife.
So, Byakuya stopped him when he was trying to get the knife. And he got shoved out from under the table before he could even grab it? Well, it sounds plausible. I mean, just from listening to what they both said at the time.
What the hell? What's going on here? This is...
Ow!
I could interpret it like that. No, actually, now that I think about it, that sounds like exactly what happened.
After getting shoved out from under the table, I was just as confused as you guys. I lost sight of the glowing paint. I didn't even know where the power cord was. Before I realized it, the lights had come back on. Byakuya's body was lying under the table.
Hold on! Are you saying you're not the killer?
From the very beginning, the idea to throw a party, hiding the knife, setting up the blackout, it was all going according to plan. But unfortunately, my plan failed. And all thanks to Byakuya's night vision goggles. What happened after that? Even I don't know.
You failed? Then you're not the one who killed Byakuya?
Then we're right back to square one!
How can that be? We spent all this time talking back and forth!
We're not back to square one because we've explored that option. We now have to explore more options. It's like saying you're back to square one because you checked off the first thing on your checklist. You aren't back to square one, you just have to do the next thing on the list.
What other word is brimming with so much despair? But you can't give up. You need to have hope. Do your best and move forward. Rising to the challenge again and again is why you guys are the symbols of hope.
Is Nagito really not the killer? Is this guy really the Nagito I knew before? No, there's no way I can say that. I just thought I knew him, but this whole time I didn't know anything about this guy. I didn't know his true character. It's as simple as that. Now's not the time for me to dwell on that. We need to find Byakuya's killer by any means possible. Because if we don't, we will die here. Intermission!
Well now.
Now then, the class trial has reached its climax, but... Okay, here's a question for you. What's this? To those of you who figured out who it is, how about you try the Guess the Killer challenge? Whoever fails to guess the right killer will have their save data melt away like butter. But if you guess it right, I'll reward you with $10 billion! 10 billion? Of course, for those of you who don't know who the killer is, you can just continue on.
Now then, what are you gonna do?
Left mouse button to continue on the Guess the Killer challenge. Connects a controller just to hit the B button. But I don't have a controller that I technically do have a controller that has a B button, but this controller that's sitting right next to me doesn't have a B button because it's a PlayStation controller, but I can trick my computer into thinking it's an Xbox controller. And I don't even have to do that because Steam has support for PlayStation 4 controllers now, which is good on them. They've had that for quite a while now. But, I enjoy that. But, either way, B would just... If you were to hit B, it would just skip the text and move on anyway.
Just kidding, you can't make a choice. There's no way you'd be able to guess who the killer is.
And of course, there's no $10 billion either.
Damn you, Monokuma.
You're so evil.
Villain, you truly are a villain.
Alright. It's gonna ask me if I want to save, and I do. But I'm gonna leave it off here. So if you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, consider subscribing, that kind of stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now. Peace out. See you next time.